What if the life you've always imagined was just one brave decision away? What if the very thing you fear is what stands between you and everything you could become? Today on Wise Whispers, we bring you the story of someone who dared to leap beyond fear, beyond comfort, and into purpose. This is the story of the leap. Once there was a man in his mid-30s, living in a quiet suburb in the Midwest. He worked as a senior financial analyst at a corporate firm downtown. Every weekday followed the same rhythm. Drive through traffic, crunch numbers, sit in endless meetings, return home, reheat dinner, and fall asleep to background noise on TV. On paper, he had everything: good salary, health insurance, a modest home, a retirement account. Comfortable? Yes. Fulfilled? Not even close. What no one knew was that he had a passion: baking. Since childhood, summers were spent in his grandmother's old diner in a small town. He had been her little helper in the kitchen. Her cinnamon rolls and apple pies were pure joy. Her laughter was the soundtrack of those warm memories. But practicality took over in adulthood. Bills had to be paid. Expectations had to be met. The apron was hung up and forgotten. One quiet Saturday, he visited a farmer's market. There, he noticed a little girl enjoying a cinnamon roll from a food truck. Her joy so pure it brought back a flood of memories. That moment stirred something deep inside. Later that day, he dug through old boxes and found his grandmother's recipe journal. He pulled out the stand mixer covered in dust. He baked, and for the first time in years, his home smelled like home. Soon, baking became his nightly ritual. Cookies, muffins, banana bread. He brought them to the office to share. The reaction was overwhelming. "Dude, you could sell these," someone said casually. But for him, it wasn't a joke. A month later, news of company restructuring arrived. Layoffs hit hard. Though he was spared, the illusion of job security cracked. He began to wonder, what if this was his chance? He couldn't shake the idea. At night, he researched local permits, watched tutorials on food businesses, scribbled plans on napkins. He decided to test the waters. A small pop-up stand at a weekend market. Sales were slow, but one Sunday, a popular food blogger bought a muffin. The next morning, his phone buzzed nonstop. His tiny Instagram page had gone viral. He chose the name Rustic Rise, a tribute to dough and beginnings. Orders came faster. He baked late into the night, then clocked in to work the next morning. It was exhausting, but something inside felt alive. One day, bleary-eyed and questioning his limits, he stood before the mirror and asked, "What's the worst that could happen?" And just like that, he handed in his resignation. Quitting was only the beginning. He found an old industrial kitchen to rent, bought a second-hand oven, painted the walls himself, opened a humble storefront. The first week, sales were disappointing. Some days, no one walked in. Other days, he barely made enough to cover ingredients. Winter came, cold, slow, and brutal. There were nights he slept on the bakery floor. He wanted to quit, but he didn't. Instead, he adapted. He offered baking classes for children on weekends, partnered with a nearby gym to sell healthy snacks, launched Grandma's Box, a subscription of nostalgic baked goods. Word spread. Local news covered the story. Then, a regional food show featured the bakery. Customers lined up. He hired help, then more. By the end of the second year, Rustic Rise had 3 locations. His story appeared in national magazines. He even started a scholarship for culinary students, named after his grandmother. Now, he wakes before dawn to prepare the first batch himself. On Fridays, he visits local schools to speak to students about dreams, decisions, and daring. He is no longer just a baker. He is a builder of community, of courage, of meaning. His life didn't just change, it ignited. So, what dream is quietly resting inside your heart? What leap have you been waiting to take? Let this story be your spark. Remember, safety may keep you afloat, but only courage will help you soar. If this story stirred something inside you, don't let it fade. Subscribe to Wise Whispers for more powerful, true-to-life stories that awaken purpose and move people toward change. Because sometimes one story, at just the right time, can change everything.